Taros and Ulgrim, so this should be a very hard-hitting match between the two. I think definitely the X factor of this is going to come out of the Zol, who, of course, very high defense on the, or high attack, I'm sorry, on the cannon. We're going to see if the cannon can find some success or if they're going to get walled out by that double axe.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a little bit tough, but I also just remembered with Mounir at the Spring Royale, there was a bit of a, there was this little bit we were doing where they had like earmuffs or whatever, and they had to like mouth a word to their teammate and try to get him to say it, and he just kept screaming "World Champion," and that lives in my head rent free.
World Champion.
So, World Champion! But it's like with his accent stuff, oh, it was so funny. He was so angry.
Hey, maybe that anger kind of bleeding into this match. They came out ahead with a very solid lead on the Ulgrim and Taros team, but red team looking to equalize here. We didn't see a lot of cannon activation. I think cannon can find success in twos, but not so much as you know, a long-winded string read-heavy weapon, but as a good 1-2 weapon that's a very good disruptor and a very good finisher, especially if you can find connections into your Zol Sigs that do so much damage, have so much force. But right now we're seeing a lot of axe on the stream. We got 4 axes. I mean, this is what to be expected in the current twos meta. A lot of axe and sometimes a lance here with the Ulgrim, both getting unarmed here. So we're going to be seeing some different weapons come out. No 4 axes.
Non-stop axe noises.
Yeah, you can hear it. I mean, it's just like
this is going to haunt me like when I'm trying to sleep. I'm going to hear your watch ticking in the corner, and it's just going to be axe sounds instead. Oh man! But right now, really got to hand it to Mounir and Koko. They are performing very well right now with 2 stocks to 1. Of course, I say something,
nice
and
conversion.
they both lose them. I was like, all right, listen, the one commentator curse, whatever. I've been here before. That double? Oh my God! 2 for 1? I'll take it.
The double curse into the double KO. Able to find both there is Taya as we get into a last stock here. And look at this axe. I mean, they're both taking turns just juggling each other. A side stick coming out from Mounir. You don't often see that on the axe. A little bit slower, but finding a good landing catch. We're switching over to the hammer here. A very good weapon at tapping in those KOs, especially when you get it set up by the axe. So I like this switch from Mounir. The red team, though, keeping this double axe game plan, the wall, the juggling, and light into side air, dropping it. That would have been the end of the stock, but we drop it. And now the blue team with another chance, but landing with a side air again, and that one finds its connection.
Yeah, it's fine. He's Zol. Like, he'll get his hit eventually, you know, and then you're just going to fly off the screen like we just saw right there. But right now, Pilot flying off the screen. Now we have a 1v1 scenario with Taya. And it is Battle the Ulgrims here.
I definitely, you know, you definitely want to be on the, as I was going to say, you want to be on the axe here, but landing with a side air, finding the KO, I mean, it's a lot easier to find, you know, an axe end light there, but that side air just calling out the attempt to find some reprieve in the corner. It gets called out by that side air, and the blue team taking game number 1, Mounir and Koko. Game 1, but very, very close to game 1. It came down to that last stock situation, you know, 1v1. It's very, very scary when it gets to that, especially in these teams. You're not going to see a last stock where they're both very low damage. They're both going to be very deep red. It's really going to come down to a last hit scenario to close out these games.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if that happens in this next game coming up here. We're currently at the map stage. There we go. Finally, I was like, what's going on here? Why are the guys taking so long? But you know what? That's just kind of what happens when you get into these later parts of the bracket. You got to think a little bit more, right? Everybody here's a lot more talented, so you got to make sure you get those right map choices. My words are all over. I'm combining words nonstop. Yeah. It is terrible.
I couldn't get I'm not even going to try to say the Pilotgoneum correctly, so I feel you there, Skiff. But we're going back to Fortress here, your favorite stage apparently. We're getting quite a lot.
It's a 6th stage.
It's
I
great.
just like to see other stages.
Not this 2's bracket.
I prefer this over PS2 any day of the week, but that's another story.
That's for real.
But as we get into this right now, it's a little bit more of the same, right? A lot of good competition back and forth. I mean, really just started, but like it's really even so far. Mounir taking a little bit of extra damage on there, and also buffing up the character as well. Not going to be having that axe anymore, but the hammer now coming out to play.
A lot of fire on the screen right now as the Lance Cannon combination works out for the red team. They come out on top with that end light conversion. The weapon toss immediately there. We're seeing a weapon star from the red team as they both pick up some axes to extend that extra credit. I definitely do like to see that because the down light into recovery will come in and close out that stock. That's a big swing there as they're able to equalize a little bit, but another recovery lands, and right now, Pilot really running away with this game on this Zol.
I misspoke. For some reason, I thought Mounir switched to Thor for a bit because the hair threw me off on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I got really confused. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyway, moving past that, yeah, I just swapped over to We still got axes. We still got axes.
Drip change, drip change.
Yeah. Roman Reigns looks so weird with the platinum blue hair.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, anyway, as we continue to push forward here right now, we've got Pilot and Taya doing a really good job here, kind of maintaining this lead. And I don't know, maybe this Roman Reigns switch just isn't the place to go.
Ooh, Mounir going really low with that axe down air and didn't get punished for it, which is very fortunate there. It might have been a misinput, but right now, even on the unarmed, Taya finding some activation on this Ulgrim. Nice recovery there to disrupt that team combo, and Pilot having the cannon in hand, looking to find like an end light here or something to close out a stock, but now it's a 2v1 situation. We'll see if there's any confirms for either the team. They're kind of clashing with each other, and that gives one more chance at life for Ulgrim.
Oh, geez, hitting your own teammate. Got to be careful of that.
Yep. You only do that when you're about to win the game. You don't want to do it during it.
Yeah, don't do it here. Don't do it now. Because you guys actually got a nice lead here, especially with Taya, maintaining the second stock, and blue team really getting into that deep red. That's okay. Taya still has a little bit left, but oh my goodness, what a play right there. That was insane. From a deficit into a 2v1 scenario. However, Taya, very healthy. Can they get this done? Because honestly, you just sneeze on both of them and they're gone.
What a clean team combo. As soon as someone throws away their weapon in a 2v1, it gets scary. But as I was saying, it will get to these last stock situations where one person will be very deep in the red. Mounir having to play somewhat flawlessly to avoid this Ulgrim. That side air does come in to call out the dodge, and Taya able to close out that game. Yeah, they got that clip, but I mean, obviously, it doesn't really matter too much when, you don't get the W, but man, that was a slick team combo, though. They absolutely needed that, too. It definitely put them in a position where they could have closed that out. It's just unfortunately, like, when you're both that deep red, right, and you're fighting somebody who has a completely clean stock, it's a bit of a toss on what can happen. Like, yeah, you could team combo them into oblivion, right? But the problem is, like, they get that one weapon in hand, and it's just a couple straight hits, which is what happened at the end. And that's how they get that W. So, honestly, really well played by them. But we're going to be going into Demon Island, so my wishes have been granted. A little bit of a scenery change, but we end up going to the other map we've been seeing a whole lot lately, huh? Yeah, we get a switch off as well, Mounir, who's switching over to the Aang crossover, so we're getting some Rayman, which I think will... sorry, Wushang. I said Rayman, my bad. I keep seeing Dulzim on the screen, and a lot of fire as well, so definitely had that on my mind, but we'll see as the red team stay on the picks. I definitely think the Zol found a lot more activation for Pilot there, who, as I say that, unarms Mounir. Mounir in a really bad spot. The end light comes in into the other end light. Nice disruption from Mounir to avoid that team combo, which surely would have led to a KO. That down sig will find a KO as well.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough one there, too. I don't know why we're seeing the switch to Aang, but you know what? I mean, it is what it is. You do your thing, whatever. Oh, okay, there we go. Answering right back. That's what I want to see here. However, Koko also in a pretty tough spot. Like, honestly, especially when you have to deal with Ulgrim and Zol. Like, again, sneeze on him. He's gone.
Okay, nice side air there from Mounir to disrupt that. But as Mounir is able to survive, can't say the same for Koko, who gets edge guarded there very effectively.
I like that. Taya being very evasive here, trying to extend the stock as much as possible. Still living here, too. Wow.
A nice downlight, a nice disruption tool on the axe to get some extra damage there. Nice recovery as well. I like this juggle state. When they're on the lance and the cannon, they can tend to clash a little bit, but it's working out really well for this team, who finds the double sig and a double KO for Ulgrim. Whoa.
And this is why playing like these heavy damage characters in doubles can just like be such a good option. Like, yeah, you might lose out on some movement or some of the other stats, but like if you get your combos, you can just decimate stocks the way they just did. That was beautiful, man. This is why I love doubles. It's so sick.
You forget that Zol has confirms in their sigs, and as I say that, another confirm comes in. Mounir getting the side sig into the end sig, and that's going to close out a stock as we get to last stock again. So leads really don't matter, as both of these teams are really pulling out all the stops to win this game.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, they were just down by 3 stocks, and they answered 3 stocks like almost immediately. to try and even this back up. I mean, not just try, they did even it. But now we're getting into this last stock scenario like you just mentioned a little while ago, PJ, and honestly, I can't tell you who's going to win. Like, this has just been so explosive.
Oh, a big open up there, getting the side light into the Nair, into the cannon recovery for some big damage. Mounir getting juggled by Pilot's cannon. On the other side, we got a Lance Mirror. Koko coming out on top there into Mounir's recovery and dropping the Sig. If that connection, I mean, if that connected, that closes out that stock, but the end light does come in, and it is a 2v1 situation. But once again, it's Koko on the Lance, just one hit away from both of these players getting KO'd.
Did I see Pilot taunt after taking out that stock? Oh. I think I saw a taunt. He took out Mounir, and then I think there was a quick taunt while your teammate was getting bodied, and then like, came over and helped him out. I don't know. Okay, getting a little bit frisky here, a little bit. I want to see if there was definitely a taunt in that final stock for Mounir. But yeah, look at this, man. You go down 3 stocks, and that's a huge lead. And they answered back super quick to even everything up. I mean, outside of damage, but just stocks wise, that was so good.
Yeah, that conversion from Mounir was so important, and just charging that gravity cancel side stick to close out that stock. Yeah, we didn't get to see the taunt, but I feel like Pilot earned it there, able to punish that side air with that D-Light into Nair on the cannon and close out that stock. It gets very, very scary, especially on the cannon to find those KOs, but when you're gifted a downlight, you better take it to the bank, and Pilot did, as we are up now 2-1 in the set. We get to switch back to the Roman Reigns for Mounir. Koko staying on the Ulgrim. The Ulgrim definitely working out.
Yep, and now we're going into Apocalypse. Oh, okay, saving his teammate. That was definitely a little bit terrifying there. Yeah. I mean, Zo, like, he's got some, like, such sick signatures, too, and again, he's just so strong.
Really playing into that for sure. We're seeing Pilot just kind of run away with that Zol. Nice weapon toss there from Taya to close out that stock. That's the first stock of the match getting taken. Mounir falling off as well there, so it's going to be a lead once again, but I mean, you can hardly call it a lead as the blue team was able to equalize that last game. You're definitely not comfortable as the red team. Only comfortable when you're done winning that set 3-1. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is kind of what it's all about, though. I mean, this is definitely going to be a huge upset if Pilot and Taya can pull this off, and right now they are certainly in position to do so. And that's the power of just playing 2 strong characters that hit hard. That's why I press button, I do damage. That's me.
Well, I hit many move when few move do trick.
Exactly. You get it.
I get it. Nice double KO for Ulgrim there to even up the stock count, but blue team looking very worse for wear in the damage department. We'll see if they're able to play relatively safe here, as that Nair does unarm Koko. Okay, nice side air from Pilot, sending Koko off stage, forcing that high recovery. Got kind of a 2v1 on Mounir, getting that side light into the down air, into the weapon toss, and that's going to be a stock taken.
They're both unarmed. Okay, there we go. Actually, we do have an X in Pilot's hand. I don't know if I just missed that or we just picked that up. But yeah, definitely looking a little bit scary here for the blue team. Okay, that's nice. Good little pickup from Mounir into Koko.
Okay, nice movement so far. Pilot playing elusive to hold on to this extra stock here. Koko having an extra stock as well, but looking, I mean, just basically any hit away from losing that stock, that end light. Not quite enough as you get bounced into the wall, but that side air will cover the high recovery. That will shut down Koko and make it so the red team have a full stock lead here. We'll see if Pilot's able to capitalize on it.
I really got to hand it to red team. Like, their stage control is just phenomenal right now. There has been a couple times where blue has been able to slip through and kind of disrupt things, but for the most part, red team has just been like, hey, this is a no-fly zone. You got to check in with me if you land in my city, you know?
Oh, and from a 3 stock to 2 lead, it's now down to a 2v1 situation. Mounir looking high damage here, but Koko about the same damage with that open up, and Pilot having to play quite well to clutch this game and reject the game 5, but I think we're going to game 5, Skiff.
Yeah, we might be getting there. It just kind of comes down to, like, can Pilot take out Mounir? Because that would definitely be a huge, like, burden off your shoulders, and he's got to do a 1v1 versus Koko. And the problem is that you got to beat these guys essentially in, like, in the 2v1, and then you got to fight one in a 1v1. And they are ranked higher in, you know, that's the rankings we see. Those are 1v1 rankings, right? And when you kind of have to do that 1v1 scenario, it gets a little bit more tough. So I think, like, once you kind of get one of the red team out, right, your strength's cut. Because, like, I'm not saying they're not good players, like, but, like, when you look at the PR numbers and stuff like that, but, like, they are definitely they're performing really well together. Like their synergy and their chemistry is fantastic, but like they need to keep both of them on that stage. Like because when they were controlling that stage, they were doing fantastic, but as soon as they kind of got picked off and split off from each other a little bit, I feel like things started to fall apart just a little bit more. So let's see if Red Team can dial that in as we get into this game 5 and a potential huge upset.
Yeah, to add on to stage control, I think one of the most interesting things about the Red Team is it's not the double axe that I think is that dominant in controlling space, but it's when they're on the lance and the cannon. It's just making so many big problems for the blue team as they're able to just burst around at these crazy angles, making it very difficult for the blue team to get much going, because as soon as the blue team does get going, we've been seeing these team combos, or just combos in general, opening up for some big damage as we get to a very scrappy game 5 here, first stock, and it's already just, I mean, everyone's just swinging right now.
I mean, hey, you know, sometimes that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to swing some stuff out there, and then, you know, eventually you get a hit and you start to capitalize off it. Like right there. Very good stuff. Koko taking a lot of damage in the process here. Everybody's starting to get into that red. Honestly, we should be seeing some stocks fly out of the stage here very, very soon. Blue team looking like they might be able to take that first one. It all barely lives.
Can't believe Pilot's able to live that very barely and comes back down with the recovery as the red team looking very, very bad, just surviving, and Pilot able to get a weapon immediately. And now it's a slight stock advantage, but I hardly can call it a lead as we've seen the blue team able to close out these stocks very well on this Ulgrim.
Yeah, I really thought the blue team was going to take that first stock, and then red team, again, just kind of got their positioning on stage, and they did their thing, man. Oh, wow, they almost got a little bit of a happy birthday going on, just was not able to keep that going. There we go, there's one, and there's the other. All right, even things up in terms of stocks, but that is a little bit of that good mac and cheese color on the blue team. We'll see if they can find a way to turn this around. I mean, right now they both have weapons in hand, and red team only has one.
Okay, good movement so far, as you're really having to play very evasive as Mounir here, because any open up could lead to the end of your stock. Pilot swinging back with that end light, sending away. The blue team kind of stuck in between the two teams, or the two players, and that end light into the landing side air from Taya. Taya barely sneaking in that hitbox to close out the stock. Instead of it being an edge guard situation, it ended up just being a straight up KO.
Well, that's the thing. He also picked up the axe in immediately, because he was on the rocket lance, but he ended up tossing that and picks up the axe and immediately converts into that. That was so clean and just like such good reaction time too.
Yeah, and right now the blue team, I mean, you're down a complete 2 stocks, 1 stock on each player, but you know, they're able to even up the stock, but we'll see with this extra credit how much it's going to matter.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if I'm red team, I'm not looking to take another stock here for sure. Like, that's not my, obviously, it's the #1 priority. I'm looking to try and get as much damage as possible. Like, play a little bit lame, play a little bit safe here. Get a lot of damage on that blue team, so when you do get into your final stocks, you know that you could just, you know, hit them a couple more times, and that should be the game and the set. But there we go. There goes one, and as you can see, Mounir's already kind of getting into that red. Okay, so red and yellow, not like, it could be a little bit better for you, but this is still pretty good, but no weapons in hand. That is definitely a tough one.
We are last stock in game 5, and you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. That side or just find a connection on Mounir. We see Taya trying to find an edge guard attempt on the other side. We got Koko who fights all the way to the other side to give some space to Mounir, but gets caught in the crossfire. The side air does connect and unarms Koko. Oh, dodging barely through that side light side air.
This is such a scary situation too, because Koko's like wants to help out his friend. Okay, does get it over to that other side, but like the thing is like you risk going into a 2v1 with Mounir sitting at the edge of the stage as well, just trying to bait out an option.
Okay, kind of the weapon, they're hitting each other there, just I think trying to swap over to this very dominant lance and cannon action. We'll see if they can find any sort of KO move. You see the blue team stacking on top of each other, playing the wall very well. We see Koko taking the space on the soft platform, Mounir holding onto the wall.
Okay, Taya was trying to pick up that stock after that hit from Pilot, but just was not able to get there. And blue team, they're being very patient right now, which honestly is the right play, but you get Mounir out of there, and Koko follows right behind as red team makes a big upset and continues moving on in the bracket here. Very well done.
Pilot and Taya with the Zol Ogrim. I think game 1, you know, blue team took it, and it was looking kind of rough for Pilot on the Zol. I was kind of doubting the pick, staying with the Zol, never switching off of it, and it ended up working out very well.